All right, listeners, are you ready to unlock some muscle building secrets?
Sounds intriguing.
Because today we're diving deep into a topic that might just surprise you.
Okay, I'm all ears.
We're going beyond those typical tips you hear all the time, like lifting heavy and eating tons of protein.
Yeah, we've all heard those.
We're going into the often overlooked realm of sleep.
Sleep, huh?
You heard that right. And to guide us on this journey, we have this fascinating article from the ketogenic athlete on Medium. It's called The Secret to Building Muscle That You're Probably Not Doing.
I like the sound of that already.
Me too. It really got me thinking because you know how we always focus on the active stuff?
Yeah, the gym, the diet, all that.
Right, but this article argues that sleep is not just about recharging.
Okay, so there's more to it.
Exactly. It's actually prime time for muscle growth.
Now that's interesting. I'm curious to hear more.
It all boils down to our hormones.
Ah, hormones, the body's chemical messengers.
Precisely, and this article dives into how they work their magic while we sleep.
All right, lay it on me. Which hormones are we talking about?
Well, let's start with cortisol, the infamous stress hormone.
Cortisol, everyone's favorite.
Right. It gets a bad rap, and for good reason. High levels of cortisol can actually hinder muscle growth.
So stress is a muscle killer?
You could say that, but here's the good news. Cortisol naturally decreases while we sleep.
Oh, so that's why sleep is so important.
Exactly. It creates what's called an anabolic environment.
Anabolic meaning?
Basically, your body shifts gears from a state of breaking things down to a state of building things up.
So it's like switching from demolition mode to construction mode.
A perfect analogy. And of course, we can't forget about testosterone.
Ah, yes, the muscle-building king.
Exactly. It's essential for muscle protein synthesis, which is basically the process of creating new muscle tissue.
So more testosterone, more muscle.
Pretty much. And guess what happens when you sleep?
Don't tell me testosterone levels rise.
Yeah, giving your body the fuel it needs to repair and rebuild those muscles.
So we've got cortisol going down, testosterone going up. It's like a muscle-building party in our sleep.
Exactly, but wait, there's more. The article also mentions a couple of other key players, IGF-1 and HGH. Have you heard of these?
Oh, yeah, IGF-1, that's insulin-like growth factor 1, right? And HGH is human growth hormone. They're both powerhouses when it comes to growth and recovery.
You're absolutely right. And guess what? They both surge during sleep.
No way, seriously.
Seriously. IGF-1 is particularly interesting because it directly stimulates muscle protein synthesis and helps your body use amino acids more efficiently.
Amino acids being those building blocks of protein.
You got it. And then there's HGH, which is like the foreman on a construction site.
Okay, I like that analogy.
It makes sure everything is running smoothly, promoting tissue repair and recovery.
So it sounds like a whole team of hormones is working hard while we sleep to build muscle.
It's like a symphony of muscle-building hormones, and we're just lying there reaping the benefits.
That's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It really is, and it makes me rethink that old saying, no pain, no gain.
Yeah, what about it?
Maybe it should be no sleep, no gain.
Haha, you might be onto something there.
And here's another point that really caught my eye. Contrary to what many people think, your body doesn't actually break down muscle during sleep if it has enough fuel.
Hold on. I've always heard that we need to eat protein before bed to prevent muscle breakdown.
Right, that's a common misconception, but the article explained that with the right conditions, you can actually increase muscle mass overnight.
Now that's what I want to hear. So what are these right conditions?
Well, it has to do with this fascinating concept called oxidative priority.
Oxidative priority. Now that sounds complicated.
It's actually not that complex, essentially. It means your body has a preferred order for using fuel.
Okay, so like a hierarchy of fuel sources.
Exactly. Carbohydrates are at the top of the list, followed by fats, and lastly, protein.
So our bodies would rather burn carbs and fats than protein.
Especially during sleep. So if you have enough carbs and fats available, your body won't need to dip into its protein reserves for energy.
Meaning that protein can be used for its primary purpose, building and repairing muscle.
That's the idea, and this is where things get even more interesting because the type of fat you consume can actually play a role in optimizing this whole process.
Oh, now we're talking. So not all fats are created equal.
Exactly, but we'll delve into that a bit later.
Okay, can't wait.
But first, let's take a step back and make sure everyone's on the same page about the basics of muscle building.
Sounds good. Back to the fundamentals.
Exactly, because understanding the foundation will help us appreciate the power of sleep even more.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so quick refresher course time.
I'm ready.
Break it down for us. How does muscle building actually work?
All right, so think of it like this. Every time you hit the gym or, challenge your muscles in any way.
Like lifting weights.
Exactly. You're creating tiny tears in those muscle fibers.
Ah, so that's what causes that soreness.
You got it. That's your body saying, hey, we're working hard here.
And that soreness means we're actually getting stronger.
Precisely. Those little tears, they're basically a signal for your body to start repairing and rebuilding.
So it's like breaking down to build back up stronger?
Exactly. And that's where protein comes in.
Ah, protein, the building block of muscle.
Exactly. It provides those essential amino acids needed to repair and rebuild those muscle fibers.
Okay, so we've got the muscle breakdown from exercise and the protein to help rebuild, but what else is involved?
Well, we got to make sure we're fueling the whole process, right?
Right, got to have energy.
Exactly. We need those carbs and fats to give our bodies the energy to actually do the muscle building.
So it's like a team effort: exercise, nutrition, and sleep.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And remember how we talked about oxidative priority?
Yeah, that whole hierarchy of fuel sources thing.
Exactly. So during sleep, your body's going to prioritize those carbs and fats for energy.
Sparing the protein for muscle building.
You got it. It's all about optimizing those processes.
So that's why it's important to eat a balanced diet throughout the day.
Absolutely. Make sure you're getting enough healthy fats and carbs,
So our bodies have what they need to keep things running smoothly.
especially during those crucial sleep hours when all that muscle building magic is happening.
Okay, this is making a lot of sense, but let's go back to that oxidative priority thing for a second.
Sure. What about it?
You mentioned the type of fat we eat can influence it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Not all fats are created equal.
So spill the beans, which fats are we talking about?
Well, one type that's been getting a lot of buzz lately is MCT oil.
MCT oil, that's medium chain triglycerides, right?
You got it? It's a type of saturated fat, but it's absorbed and used differently than other fats.
How so?
Your liver can quickly convert it into energy, and it's less likely to be stored as body fat.
Interesting. So it's like a quick energy source.
Exactly, and that means it can help support that oxidative priority we talked about.
Keeping protein available for muscle building.
Precisely. And there's even some research suggesting that MCT oil might help boost growth hormone release.
Hold on. Growth hormone, as in HGH, the muscle building superstar.
The one and only, it seems MCT oil might be a double whammy for muscle building, providing sustained energy and potentially bumping up growth hormone.
Wow. Okay, I'm seeing the light here. Prioritizing sleep and nutrition is clearly crucial for anyone who wants to build muscle.
Absolutely, it's all connected.
But there's one thing that's still bugging me.
What's that?
We've talked about what to eat, but what about when we eat? Does timing matter?
You bring up a great point. Timing is definitely key, especially when it comes to maximizing muscle growth during sleep.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
Think about it this way. You eat a huge meal right before bed. What happens?
Well, I usually feel super full and a little uncomfortable.
Exactly. Your body's working hard to digest all that food.
And that probably messes with our sleep.
You got it. And it can also disrupt those hormonal processes we've been talking about.
The ones that are crucial for muscle building.
Exactly. So instead, aim to finish your last meal a couple of hours before bed.
Give our bodies a chance to digest.
Precisely. That way you can transition into that restful muscle-building sleep state.
Okay, so strategic meal timing is another piece of the puzzle.
It all adds up.
But we've been focusing so much on nutrition and sleep. What about the workout itself?
Of course, the type of workout you do plays a huge role in stimulating muscle growth.
So is it all about lifting super heavy weights?
Well, lifting heavy is definitely effective for building strength and muscle, but it's not the only way.
So what else should we be doing?
The key is progressive overload, basically challenging your muscles more over time.
So like gradually increasing the weight or the reps.
Exactly. You can also play with the number of sets you do, or even the tempo of your exercises.
So it's all about pushing those boundaries a little bit each time.
Exactly. And remember, rest and recovery are just as important as the workout itself.
Because that's when the real muscle building happens.
Especially during sleep, that's when your body repairs those micro tears and builds new tissue.
This is blowing my mind. It's all so interconnected.
It really is. Nutrition, sleep training, recovery, they all work together.
So it's not just about one magic solution, it's about a holistic approach.
That's the beauty of it all. There's always something new to learn and improve.
So we've covered a lot of ground here: the science, the role of hormones, the importance of oxidative priority, and how to optimize our workouts.
We've been busy.
But I think our listeners are ready for the nitty-gritty details.
You mean how to actually optimize their sleep for maximum muscle gain?
Exactly. Give us the goods.
All right, let's dive into some sleep optimization strategies.
Okay, so let's talk sleep optimization. Give us those pro tips for making sure we're getting the most out of our sleep, specifically for muscle building.
Well, one of the simplest yet most effective strategies is creating a consistent sleep schedule.
Oh, that's the classic advice, isn't it?
It is, but for good reason. You see, our bodies thrive on routine.
Okay, so like going to bed and waking up around the same time every day, even on weekends.
Exactly. That helps regulate your circadian rhythm.
Circadian rhythm, that's like our internal clock, right?
Exactly. It controls our sleep-wake cycle and helps optimize hormone production.
So if we're constantly messing with our sleep schedule,
You're basically throwing your hormones out of whack.
and that can impact our muscle growth.
You got it. It all comes back to those hormones.
It always does. So besides a consistent sleep schedule, what else can we do?
Well, it's also helpful to create a relaxing bedtime routine.
A routine, like,
Yeah, something to signal to your body that it's time to wind down.
okay, so like taking a warm bath or reading a book.
Exactly. Or even some light stretching or meditation, anything that helps you relax.
It's all about setting the mood for sleep.
Precisely, both physically and mentally.
Speaking of physically, what about our bedrooms? Any tips for creating a muscle-building sleep sanctuary?
Oh, absolutely. Darkness is key.
Darkness.
Yep. Make sure your bedroom is as dark as possible. No lights from electronics, blackout curtains, the whole 9 yards.
I've heard that even a little bit of light can mess with our sleep. Is that true?
It is. Even the faintest light can suppress melatonin production.
Melatonin, that's the sleep hormone, right?
Exactly. And when melatonin is suppressed, it disrupts our sleep cycles.
And that means...
Less muscle growth.
Wow. Okay, I'm convinced darkness it is. What about temperature? Does that matter?
Temperature definitely plays a role. Most people sleep best in a cool room.
Cool. Like what temperature are we talking?
Around 65 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal.
Okay, so dark and cool. Any other environmental factors we should consider?
Well, noise can be a big distraction.
True. I'm a light sleeper.
So if you live in a noisy area, earplugs or a white noise machine can be lifesavers.
Good to know. And of course, we can't forget about the bed itself.
Oh, yeah. A comfortable and supportive bed is essential.
So a good mattress and pillow.
Exactly. They can make a world of difference in getting a restful night's sleep.
Okay, so we've got the consistent sleep schedule, the relaxing bedtime routine, the optimized sleep environment. Is there anything else we can do to boost our muscle building potential while we sleep?
Well, remember that concept of oxidative priority you talked about?
Yeah, where our bodies prefer to use carbs and fats for fuel during sleep.
Exactly. We can actually use that to our advantage with a little pre-bed snack.
A snack, really?
Yep, something small and slow digesting.
Okay, like what?
A good option is something with a mix of protein and healthy fats.
So like a little Greek yogurt with some nut butter.
Perfect example. The protein provides those building blocks for muscle repair.
And the fat helps with sustained energy.
Exactly. Keeping that oxidative priority going strong and sparing that protein for muscle building.
Wow, I never thought I'd be thinking about muscle building while I'm sleeping.
It's pretty amazing, right?
It really is. It's like we're tapping into a secret weapon.
Sleep is a secret weapon. For sure, it's free, it's accessible, and it's incredibly powerful.
So to sum it all up, it sounds like we've learned that sleep is absolutely essential for anyone serious about building muscle.
No doubt about it.
We've talked about those muscle-building hormones, the importance of oxidative priority, and some practical tips for optimizing our sleep.
We covered a lot of ground.
Any final words of wisdom for our listeners?
I would just say make sleep a priority. Don't treat it as an afterthought.
Yeah, don't skip on those Z's.
Exactly. Even small changes to your routine and your sleep environment can make a huge difference.
Well said. I know I'm personally going to be paying a lot more attention to my sleep from now on. And to our listeners, keep learning, keep experimenting, and keep sleeping your way to those gains.
That's what it's all about.
And that concludes our deep dive into the fascinating world of sleep and muscle building. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay well rested.